So basically, the process was we got the list of sites, we ran the crawler to get the account ID automatically, or we couldn't do that. We then got a human to get the account ID from the home page, then pass the container. Then we get the score from Consent Mode Monitor or GTM Grader, and then finally we've then got the list of sites to analyze. And this is kind of the juicy, interesting bit. It's like the findings. So this was a summary of the native tags. There are a couple of actually dead native tags that still exist within GTM. I can't talk about the VUE tag, but there's some additional information about that tag that I can mention later once an issue with it has been fixed. But it's very dangerous that tag is active on a live site at the moment. The other one in this list is again Classic, Google Optimise, more dead or legacy tags in here, and Google Surveys. That's obviously, those ones just need to be removed or deleted. As a slight kind of follow-up project, the Bing tag, when you add it, doesn't automatically listen for default consent. And that's something that a lot of sites generally forget to go in and tick the second tick box. So the other bit here was these were sites that were loading. So GTM was behind the cookie banner. So these are sites that they've in effect maybe accidentally or maybe intentionally, but most likely accidentally, turned on advanced mode by only deploying GTM after someone clicks accept. What they should really do is load GTM outside of the cookie banner and set the Google tags, for instance, in basic mode by attaching those categories. That's a much better way of doing it. It also means that you can preload the JavaScript file without executing, and it's just like the official and correct way to do it. It also allows you to move to advanced mode more easily. And also, sometimes they're loading GTM with auto block active. So here we've got GTM loaded in plain text mode here. This is in effect the same as or similar as loading GTM behind consent, which is again not ideal. And then on some other notes, these are sites that are paying for GA360 or zones, but they don't appear to be actively using GTM properly. But again, this is normally a signal that something doesn't kind of smell right. If they're paying for GTM, what I'd expect to see versions between sort of 300 and 400, and probably maybe at least 50 tags active. Sites that probably need help or investigating. These ones here, they're paying for zones, but they've got broken consent mode category. Oops. Here's a quick scan of the default consent settings from this sample list of sites. So a bunch of things wrong with the default consent settings from these sites, which is not good given that they're in a top 1,000. Hope no one from the ICO is watching. Yeah, also interestingly for me down here, these sites here had a data layer value on the homepage that was too large to be passed by the browser. So that actually caused a problem because consent mode itself still uses the data layer to do updates and for set default. So the value is too large, i.e. you get a buffer overflow. It actually stops consent mode from working, be it accidentally. So these sites here actually have a compliance problem, be it accidentally because of that massively large data layer. But here's the sort of summary or takeaways. So if you're using GA2 or GA3, obviously, if you're mentioning that list, you want to remove that code and make sure you're running GA4 via GTM. Obviously, bin, Google Optimize, Google Surveys, it does nothing. You don't need to load an inactive JavaScript tag. Please run Consent Mode Monitor, GTM Grader. They're free to run. The logged in version of Consent Mode Monitor is also now free, so the advanced scan is free, but we don't make any money out of it unless you want to do monthly or weekly monitoring and get alerted from compliance issues. But for agencies and everyone, feel free to use it. It will probably benefit you or your spot stuff that you didn't know. And you can also run it across all sites in a container in like one click. Lots of problems with default consent. I was amazed how many big sites have got that wrong. Built with also recommends technology that should be used. So there's a little kind of recommended tab here. So it will say, maybe you should switch to this CMP or this CMS. If you haven't checked that out, go check it out. It's got some good recommendations and suggestions in it based off a kind of like a tech stack distribution. If you're using zones, I'd normally suggest making load the primary account to inject the zone, not kind of like the zone or the yeah. Try and make sure you only load ideally one GTM container per site, not not multiple containers, because you end up with potentially two listeners and not as compact or compressed as it could be. If you're running in GTM and you're running in advanced mode, don't block GTM by accident by adding it behind a cookie banner or turning on auto block or setting the tag type to text or forgetting to add C001 or a strictly necessary classification. And yeah, make sure you're not on that list of sites with broken default consent. And if you want to get access to the actual GTM account IDs, especially from the big list, you ping an email to hello@ saying add me to the tag library, or I can add you in there. Or if you scan that code, it will prompt you with a preset email saying add to tag library.